believe we're ready. Good morning, everyone. The Delaware County Commissioner meeting for July 29th, 2021 is now in session. Would you stand, gentlemen, and pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Gary Merrill, President of the Board. To my left is Commissioner Barb Lewis, Vice President, and to my right is fellow Commissioner Jeff Pittman. Our Mike Fromer and Don Houston with us today, as well as our clerks. Let's proceed.
Resolution number 21-665.
You guys switch seats. You're moving around.
Because I do Thursdays, she does Mondays.
Yeah, but you're usually on the same side.
Oh,
Commissioner Benton is having a conversation on the side here. Two clerks
Sorry,
switched chairs,
Yeah.
and
It threw me off. I can't handle this.
sorry.
All right.
All right.
Sorry.
Resolution number 21-665, in the matter of approving the electronic records of proceedings from regular meeting held July 26, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 21-665. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 21-666. In the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch numbers CMA PR 0728 and memo transfers in batch numbers MCA PR 0728.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 21-666. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-667. In the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 21-667. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-668, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins from the Juvenile Court. A couple of weeks ago, I came before you asking about an MOU with the Ohio CASA. They've provided $46,000 for expanding services in Delaware County, and that payment has come through, so I'm asking for appropriations to go ahead and spend that money now.
All right.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-668. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-669, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application to the Ohio Attorney General Victims of Crime Act for the Victim Services Program and the Court-Appointed Special Advocate Program for the Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
This is our annual submission to the Attorney General's office. It runs two programs over at the Juvenile Court, both the Victim Services Program, which is the first item. We are expecting about $63,000 for the coming year. Last quarter alone, we served 115 individuals for that project, and we're returning about $10K in restitution back to victims for that program. The other program is our CASA program. This is the program that runs in both Delaware and Union County. Last quarter, we served 191 youth or children for that program, and we received 23 new clients. The funding for this coming year is about $112,000, and that funding is completely supported by in-kind or volunteer hours. We have about 40 volunteers that service both Union and Delaware County.
Gee, great programs.
Yes, they are.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-669. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-670, in the matter authorizing the submitting of an application to the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the Delaware County Family Treatment Court Program for the Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Again, this is an annual submission. This covers a portion of our treatment court probation officer. It's been consistent funding for about the last 6 years.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-670. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution.
dry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I heard the
Yeah.
thunder. was
Yeah.
coming.
Sure.
Good luck.
Can I just hang out here for the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resolution number 21-671, in the matter of certifying the county auditor sanitary sewer capacity charges for 788 South 3 B's and K Road, Galena, Ohio 43021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. This is to certify the reduced tap fee because they have an existing septic tank. So it's the $4,050 being certified to the taxes.
How many have you had take advantage of that program?
We've had
Since we started
we've
it.
had several in the last couple years. I wouldn't say it's a significantly high
Overwhelming.
amount, but yeah, I think it's people are very thankful to be able to utilize that program. Definitely.
Wish more would.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the location, right? And
Sure, sure.
and whether their septic tank's old enough to need it, like these
Right.
folks on this one.
Other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-671. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-672, in the matter of certifying of delinquent accounts to the county auditor for accounts to be assessed in the payable year 2022 taxes.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
So we're certifying here for the accounts that are over 90 days past due and the amount exceeds $25. This quarter, it's $143,350.84. That equates to 3.95% of our total accounts. This is still continues to be down, well below what we were previously for the past couple of years. Being under 4% is something we haven't seen except for the past two cycles. So we're really thrilled to continue to follow up with those e-bill customers that are delinquent and seeing them pay those and continuing to bring that number down.
Is there a standard in the industry that you'll never get to zero, but is there a standard that you'd like that is accepted in the industry or targeted, for a delinquency rate?
I don't know.
Or-
I could ask our financial consultant, Raf Tellis, if they have a
If they've
standard.
seen-
Yeah, so we did look at what we collect annually. We actually collect 100.95% of all of our money every year because of the late fees that are assessed
Right.
and then being paid back through the taxes. So we do collect all of our money at the end of the year, even though we are certifying this 4% of the accounts. That's a good thing. I think that's probably not industry standard to actually get all of your money plus some.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, and in the collection world, the sewer department has unique capacity or ability to add it to their payroll,
Right.
or their property taxes.
Right.
Which ensures collection, basically.
Yeah.
So,
There's only, I'm sorry.
Our system's a little unique. Our delinquency that goes to the taxes is a little higher because most utilities can shut off water
right.
to
and we
force
can't.
payment or payment plans. But our collection is high. So it's interesting, we certify, but our collection will be tops in the state, because of our residents and their ability to pay their taxes and to pay their fees. So it's a
That was a
very
comment I was
unique.
going to make.
Yeah.
Did the Delco thing, is there any opportunity there, or we just kind of dismissed it, or they dismissed it, or as far as having a relationship with them on this issue?
Oh, on Delco? So we have had that discussion internally, and I think with the difficulty with trying to coordinate water shutoffs with them, it would require us to have additional staff. And looking at our total collection rate over the end of the year, getting over 100% collection, it doesn't make sense to staff up with another 2 or 3 administrative folks and people that go out and do the shutoffs. And to us, it seemed like maybe that didn't make a lot of sense financially, since we are getting our full payment at the end of the year.
Also, the residents, we have a high number of residents that have sprinkler systems, and there's not deduct meters. So if you're running your sprinkler system right now, you would pay sewer usage. Tiffany's phones would light up. People are putting 25, 30,000 gallons of water to keep their grass green. If they had to pay, their sewer bill would be 5 or 6
Yeah.
times higher. It's a real challenge, and given our demographic, that the program would have to include deduct meters on the lawn
Right.
watering, which would require a plumbing install in every house that has them.
And even if you do it, it'll be those that are on Delco water. So,
Right. Yeah, it's,
but my neighborhood has worked out very, very well. But it's a little different situation.
yeah.
But, okay. Call the vote.
Vote on motion 21-672. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-673, in the matter of reducing the solid waste tipping fees for Delaware County Fair trash.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
So this is similar to what we've done in the past. We're waiving our county surcharge, which is $3.50 a ton. Rumpke is also agreeing to reduce their trash rates by 50%.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-673. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
We have now our monthly update from Mrs. Mack.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I might. Okay. So, similar to last month, we're actually seeing a lot of the plan approvals that we had last month moving into the agreement phase. So we have 7 agreements moving forward, and actually no new plan approvals this month. So the first one is the Hyatt's Meadows Development, Section 1 and 2. It's located off of Heights Road, just west of the new pump station, but it actually flows north up to the Greif sewer, and then down, to the OECC plant. That's a Lifestyles Communities project there.
Is that single family?
What's
Or-
that?
Is that single family or?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
There's a condo development just north that was on session a few months ago that Lifestyles is doing.
Yeah,
This one is single family. Yes.
okay. And it'll have access to Heights Road?
I believe so. I'm not sure on that.
I think I went by there the other day and saw it. They're moving dirt.
Yeah, and then Carriage Farms, located down here on Carriage Road. That is also single-family homes where that horse farm is located currently. And then we have North Lake Preserve, that is up at 36, 37, and 71. There's a couple sections 5 and section 6 up in that location, up there off of 36, 37, and 71 area. We also have Olentangy Falls East, Section 5, that was on session last month, which is located down in this area on Hyatt's Road. And that is just basically the next phase. They have one more phase to go after this one, and then that'll be fully built out. Clarkshaw Moors, Section 5, once again, second last phase of Clarkshaw Moors, and then that area would be built out. North Lake Preserve, I already mentioned. And then we have a new Turkey Hill gas station down at Green Meadows in 23. Let's see if I can scroll this. 2 fingers scrolls it?
Yeah,
On this? All right, got it, perfect. Courtyards at Clear Creek, that's an Epcon development, which is located off of Gooding Boulevard in 23. This is their second section out of 3, so they're 2/3 of the way built out there. And then Pyatt Preserve, located up off of Cheshire Road, single-family homes as well. Those sewers have been accepted, and they're ready to start moving forward. And then Evans Farm, this is their Section 2, phases B, C, and D, ready to start building the houses out there as well. So any questions on any of those?
I
Okay.
have no
No,
questions.
Great.
no, appreciate the
thank you.
update.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Proceed.
Resolution number 674. In the matter of appointing and reappointing members to the Job and Family Services Community Planning Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you the Job and Family Services Community Planning Committee. 3 members being reappointed: Stephen Hrutzek, the police chief from Powell; Heidi Kegley from the Delaware City Schools; Robert Penrod, who is, I believe, the Delaware City Police representative; and then appointing a new member as the representative for the Buckeye Valley School District, Jeremy Froelich. So we recommend your approval.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-674. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-675, in the matter of appointing and reappointing members to the North Star New Community Authority Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
This one is with North Star New Community Authority Board of Trustees, and we thank our Tiffany Mag for being interested in being reappointed as our local government representative. And then a new member, as a citizen member, Zach Dowley, we're recommending for approval.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-675. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-676, a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the maximum principal amount of $58,371 for the purpose of paying the property owner's portion in anticipation of collection of special assessments of the cost of improving the Thomas No. 9 watershed drainage area between certain termini and acquiring and required interest in real property, clearing obstructions, deepening, widening, reshaping, straightening, tiling, seeding, controlling erosion, and otherwise improving the same, together with all necessary appurtenances to.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Karen First, Fiscal Manager. This resolution and the next one is for the internal purchase of 2 ditch improvement bonds, and we will be using the Treasurer's Office this year for this purchase, and the term is 8 years at a 1.75 interest rate. And this first resolution, as you heard, is for the Thomas 9 watershed, and the maximum principal amount is $58,371.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, maybe just kind of a general comment. Karen and I worked on understanding the issuance costs associated with bonds. Sometimes the bonds can offer a very low rate, but the issuance costs are so high that it makes the rate, the effective rate, much, much higher. But in this case, the issuance costs are minor, and therefore it works for our citizens to have the bonds or have these petitions these projects financed this way. So it actually saves them a little money, so this is good.
Yeah, I'd be concerned if the issuance costs were what I consider out of
Yeah,
reasonable.
because small bonds are
It's not
difficult.
fair to the
Right.
taxpayers.
Yeah, small bonds are difficult to issue because of the issuance costs, because the rates may be attractive, but the issuance costs just dwarf the rates. So not the case here. Good to see that we're able to help these things move along and earn a good return for the investment portfolio.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-676. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-677, a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the maximum principal amount of $224,989 for the purpose of paying the property owner's portion in anticipation of collection of special assessments of the cost of improving the Reuter West watershed drainage area between certain termini by acquiring any required interest in real property, clearing obstructions, deepening, widening, reshaping, straightening, tiling, seeding, controlling erosion, and otherwise improving the same, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
And this is the same as the previous one, except for it's for the Rudder West watershed, and the maximum principal amount is $224,989.
Other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-677. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-678, in the matter of approving the services agreement between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Perry Protect for Delaware County copiers and copier maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Fromer, County Administrator. This is the agreement for the kind of the centralized purchasing of the copiers and the maintenance associated. We've evaluated this, and it's probably going to bring about a 40% savings. Each of the individual departments, had their own contracts and bring them all together and doing it in bulk provided. The magnitude is probably a couple $100,000 of savings during the 5-year period, so,
That's great.
yeah.
This is the culmination of Bob Singer's report and going out and getting bids for this service.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, again, great work by Bob. And, again, as we've talked many times, by using the buying power of the county to leverage purchasing is a great idea, and this is a great example of that. So thanks to everybody who was involved.
Yeah, this started about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when Bob agreed to serve in that role. And I don't think we can thank Bob enough for the job he's done on this and the thoroughness of the project. But also, I think, thank you to all the electeds who, this is only possible because the elected officials in our county work together. There's obviously I'm gonna say substantial savings. We'll know more over time. And I think this is something every one of the electeds in the county, countywide offices should be very proud, and taxpayers should be very pleased. Everybody willing to work together. So those are my thoughts. And Commissioner Lewis?
No, I agree. And Bob is a trustee in Harlem Township.
He
too,
is.
We should
Right.
add. But he did us a great service, and it's definitely a money saver, so.
And after he retired from the copier business, he had the knowledge
Yes,
that
Yes,
made it
right.
much easier for him to make this evaluation than anyone
Mhm.
else. And
sure.
I think it kind of cuts the chase
Yes.
because of that.
And I think it'll make it easier for all the offices and departments. to go to
Right.
One place,
Yeah.
everybody knows the pricing, everybody knows the program, so it'll make it easier as well as cheaper for
Yes.
everybody, so.
Very well. Call for the vote.
Vote on motion 21-678. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-679, in the matter of approving an estoppel certificate related to the development agreement with Kerbler Farm, Schottenstein's Real Estate Group, and all.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Eric Hostetler, staff attorney. If you recall, the county entered into a development agreement in regards to the Slate Ridge development back in 2019. And that development agreement requires the county to provide an estoppel certificate under certain circumstances. In this case, the developer is refinancing a portion of the property, and the certificate will provide certain assurances to the lender in order to proceed with that financing. I did want to point out that the other parties agreed to revise this document to reflect some reservation of rights for the county so that we're protected, specific to a special assessment to be filed on the property. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions or comments? Well done. Call for the vote.
Vote on motion 21-679. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Good morning. Dawn and I bring good news to you guys. I was going to have her first kind of talk about some recent recognition that the county got on a very strategic initiative we've had at the county over the last few years.
So Friday, last week, I attended the SEBCO Wellness meeting, and with Cindy Herring, and we were the recipients of 2 awards. One we knew about from 2019 for the most improved wellness efforts, and the one we were not aware of was 2020, we received the Increased Engagement and Wellness Screenings Award from the wellness program at SEBCO. So it was a really neat opportunity to actually meet in person at CCAO down in Columbus and hear from not only SEBCO, but some of the contractors that work with them, and the exciting changes that are coming about next year for the wellness program, which will simplify the program overall. It won't be a point system like this year's. It will be a check the box. So I think that will help everybody to be able to increase engagement with employees and spouses that are on the program, and not necessarily have to worry about then receiving the 600 points, which this year we still need to do. And the deadline is 15 days away. So if you don't have your 600 points logged into the system, you need to make sure that happens.
If you can get logged into the system.
It's true, yes.
I tried 10 times yesterday. Never got it done.
They probably locked you out if.
Any other,
Yeah, the other thing, I had the pleasure to be at the One Water Conference, which is a joint Ohio Water Environment Association and American Water Works Association conference. It was 1,000 water professionals in Cincinnati getting together post-COVID, so it was as exciting as a engineer-operator conference can be. But you know, I was able to accept on behalf of you all the Public Service Award. You know, the commitment, you know, really started with the county in 2016 when you did the master plan and committing the resources to build almost 150 million. Rapidly growing areas can, you know, cut corners and cause pollution problems when the development is not managed. And your guys' efforts, you know, in establishing that framework were recognized. And it was an honor to accept the award on your guys' behalf. I think it, you know, I had people comment to me afterward how it's good to work in government, you know, for governments, that Tiffany and I must be really lucky to work for folks that are willing to allocate the resources to take care of the problems correctly. So just wanted to pass that along and to you guys, and thank you for that, and, you know, the organization recognizing you for that work, so.
Oh, thank you. I think there was another award.
Yeah, there was another award there,
Yeah.
Mike.
Couple other ones, I think.
Yeah, when you hang around a long time, they give you stuff. No, it was a really nice week. I received the Arthur Sidney Bedell Award for outstanding service to the organization. And in 2014, when I was president, I authored the first strategic plan for the organization. That's what happens when they let an engineer get in charge of the organization. But and it's been good. They've been very pleased with. We're 7 years into the 10-year plan, and so they felt that those efforts were worthy of that award.
That's great.
So.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. That was really neat.
Commissioner Benton?
Couple things. We had our unscheduled COY, well, scheduled, but not a regular COYC, the Central Ohio Youth Center meeting, Tuesday. And the topic was staffing and pay. You know, and the reason I bring it up is they're facing staffing shortages, having a difficult time attracting people because of the wages they're paying, even though we've bumped them aggressively in the past few years, recognizing we were having staffing shortages. And again, it just seems to be symptomatic across many disciplines that it's difficult to find staff, it's difficult to retain staff, and people are having to raise wages in some cases. So Central Youth Center is going through that right now, and we're working on plans to address it. But again, it's kind of the way things are going in government as well as in the private sector. Difficult to find people, and wages are going up in some cases. Regional planning is this evening. We've got an infrastructure meeting tomorrow for I think it's been 2 months since we had our last meeting about the 23 corridor, and with ODOT we have this informal meeting, so that's Friday. And that's it.
Commissioner Lewis?
Okay. Our Veterans Services Commission organized a ceremony honoring the Korean Veterans Armistice Day, which was this past week, and commemorating that. And the really great thing is we had at least a dozen Korean War vets who had either served during the time of the Korean War, or actually some had served in Korea. Because it was an Armistice Day, it's called Armistice Day because there was never a formal closure. It was never declared a war by Congress, and so, but it was a war, and in all practicality. So it was just remarkable, though, the men who were there. They were very thankful that our Veteran Service Commission brought them together, and one of the big reasons for bringing them together is to meet the other vets who had served during that time period. So there was a very nice reception, and when you think back of what they did, the North Koreans, backed by the Chinese, had invaded South Korea, and they pushed the North Koreans and the Chinese out of South Korea. Now there are 51 million free people in South Korea because of their great sacrifice. So it was just a great event, and I was very pleased just to add a few remarks to it. And that's it.
Just to comment on your stimulus, the stimulus program, the unemployment part of it, makes this unemployment issue what it is, and
Huge
we owe that to
factor.
our federal government.
I know.
And,
Oh, I did want to mention one other thing. The SEC has managed to attract a couple other teams out of the Big 12.
Oh,
And the Big 12 is,
So it'll be a substantial upgrade for the SEC, is what you're trying to say?
it'll be a substantial bigger challenge for those two teams to compete in the SEC. That's kind of like going from AA to the major leagues. It's going to be interesting to see how those two teams.
Double A, that has to do with baseball, has zero to do with football, so your analysis there, I'm not sure is accurate.
Okay, well, it's like one AA Division football going to they're going to A Division I. Anyway,
The softball in the SEC is really good, so that's going to be a tough transition, I think, for them.
it's true.
Very good, I do have just a couple very, anyway, if you know anything about football, you know what he's talking about. If you don't, you probably don't care anyway, so I'll just leave it there.
a lot of people do know about football. Yeah.
Saturday, I believe I'm accurate on this, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize in advance. I believe the Master Gardeners have a seed sale at the fairgrounds this Saturday. I have never attended it, but I'm going to attend it this year. I'm not sure about the time. I have on my calendar, I think I said 10 o'clock, but I'm not sure what time it starts. So, but if you have an interest, you might want to head up that way and check that out. I'm kind of curious about it. You're nodding. You've been to it before, Dawn?
I've been to it before, and I plan to go Saturday if I
So maybe
can
I'll see you there.
make it, yeah.
So,
Our Master Gardeners do a great job.
they do.
That's-
And again, I've never gone before, but I have a little project at my house that I'm kind of curious about, so I'm going to go. And I believe Sunday Preservation Park has a ribbon cutting at Deer Haven. So I plan on attending that as well, representing the county. And other than that, I have nothing else. I do believe we have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 21-680, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 21-680. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?